Hello students. Now let us start with a civics chapter, that
Hello
is
students.
what is democracy,
Now let us
why
start with a
democracy.
civics chapter, that is what is democracy, why democracy.
So let us start with the first topic, defining democracy, a simple definition. Democracy is a form of government in which the rulers are elected by the people. In other words, you can say a system in which the government of a country is elected by the people. This definition allows us to separate democracy from forms of government that are clearly not democratic. The army rulers of Myanmar are not elected by the people. It means democracy was not there in Myanmar. Dictators like Pinochet are not elected by the people. This also applies to the monarchies. The royal people rule, a king or queen rule. Monarchy means what? The royal people rule. King and queen rule. The kings of Nepal and Saudi Arabia rule not because the people have chosen them to do so, but because they happen to be born into the royal family. And that is why we need to carefully distinguish between a government that is democracy and the one that pretends to be. So clear differences should be there between the democratic nation, the non-democratic nation, and what's the meaning of monarchy. A very common definition you must be knowing about that was said by Abraham Lincoln, that is democracy is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Now let us discuss main features of democracies. What are the features of democracy? Democracy is mostly based on equality and every citizen is treated equally. Now, it is also based on the majority rule and it is a system of government which is based on parliamentary majorities. The party which gets the majority will generally win the elections and it is accepted by all. That is, already we know multi-party system is there in India and democracy gives voters the opportunity to choose from a variety of political parties representing a wide range of political opinion. In a democracy, minorities were also given preference. They are allowed to participate in discussions. In democracy, every individual is provided with some basic fundamental rights which are not to be violated, like, for example, freedom of speech, freedom to form associations, freedom to form the assemblies, etc. Democracy strictly follows the rule of law. Everyone should abide by the law, that each and every individual right should be equally respected. In democracy, judiciary is independent from other institutions. It always supports the truth and the law. Like if you can say that independence of judiciary is there. Now, freedom of judiciary is essential feature of democracy. Judiciary must be always free from any register of the executive or the legislature. Judges must be truthful and should deliver justice impartially. Now, major decisions taken by the elected leaders. In Pakistan, General Pervez Musharraf led a military coup in October 1999. He overthrew a democratically elected government and declared himself the chief executive of the country. Later, he changed his designation to president and in 2002 held a referendum in the country that granted him a 5-year extension. Pakistani media, human rights organizations, and democracy activities said that the referendum was based on malpractices and fraud. In August 2002, he issued a legal framework order that amended the constitution of Pakistan. Amended means being changed, being updated. According to this order, the president can dismiss the national and provincial assemblies. So, Pakistan has had elections. Elected representatives have some powers, but the final power rests with whom? The military officers and the General Musharraf himself. Result was this gives us the first feature of democracy, that in a democracy the final decision or the main power must rest with those elected by the people. But here, as you can see the example of Pervez Musharraf, so it could be considered as a non-democratic. Now, another topic that we are going to start is free and fair electoral competition. We can say that free and fair electoral competition, it is that situation where all the political parties have right to contest the elections without any interference, and also there is no misuse of governmental powers. Now, holding elections of any kind, it is not sufficient, and the election must offer a real choice between the political alternatives, and it should be made possible for the people to use this choice to remove the existing rulers, and if they wish to do so. So, a democracy must be based on free and fair elections, and whereas those currently in power have a fair chance of losing as well. The free and fair election gives an opportunity to the people to elect their representatives as per their choice. Now let us discuss about the case of China. In China, elections are held after every 5 years for electing the country's parliament, called Guanggu Renmin Daibui Dihai, that is the National People's Congress. And the National People's Congress has the power to appoint the president of the country. It has nearly 3,000 members elected from all over the China. Some members are elected by the army. Before contesting elections, a candidate needs the approval of the Chinese Communist Party. Only those who are members of the Chinese Communist Party or 8 smaller parties allied to it were allowed to contest the elections held in 2002 and 3, and the government is always formed by the Communist Party. That is, only a single party rule is there in China. Another case is of Mexico. Since its independence in 1930, Mexico holds elections after every 6 years to elect its president. The country has never been under a military or dictator's rule. But until 2000, every election was won by a party called PRI, that is, full form is Institutional Revolutionary Party. Opposition parties did contest the elections but never managed to win. The PRI was known to use many dirty tricks to win the elections, and all those who are employed in government offices has to attend its party meetings. Teachers of government schools used to force parents to vote for the PRI. So basically, it's a dirty trick to win any election. Media largely ignored the activities of opposition political parties except to criticize them. And sometimes the polling booths were shifted from one place to another in the last minute, which made it difficult for people to cast their votes. One person, one vote, one value. It stresses on political equality. Now it means that everyone in the country, irrespective of caste, color, gender, creed, and income earned, is allowed to vote for his own representative. That is, the choice and opportunity is available to all, the citizens on an equal basis, without any discrimination on the basis of gender, the caste, color, etc. Now, the policy of one person, one vote, and one value should be followed in a democracy. Democracy is based on what? That is the fundamental principle of political equality. That gives us the third feature of democracy, that in a democracy, each adult citizen must have one vote and each vote must have one value. That is, as per the universal adult franchise, at the age of 18 and above, the people they are allowed to cast the vote. And in some nation, this rule does not apply. Let us take some example of those nations. Like in Saudi Arabia, women do not have the right to vote. Secondly, Estonia has made its citizenship rules in such a way that people belonging to Russian minority find it difficult to get the right to vote. Third, in Fiji, the electoral system is such that is, the vote of an indigenous Fiji has more value than that of an Indian Fiji. So here we are ending with a part 1 of chapter 2, that is what is democracy and why democracy. Thank you so much, dear students.